Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today, and we are here for the finale of season 1 and round 21 of the season for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and the one where the curtain will close for this first season of career mode in the Williams team. If you guys missed the last episode at Brazil, then go watch the race before jumping into this one by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of the screen to go watch that race before we jump into any major spoilers. But for this one, Abu Dhabi, as you'd expect, no rain this weekend, as it is a relatively rare thing to see in the middle of the desert. And in terms of R&D progress, you can see that we of course are not doing any upgrades because we're trying to save up some points for the end of season improvement. Meanwhile, Toro Rosso have actually overtaken Alfa Romeo. They've been really improving lately and they've really pushed forward. They're also worth mentioning McLaren as well, and Racing Point also making big upgrades as well. And surprisingly, a lot of teams still pushing on, even with the regulation change, with the chassis being affected going into next season. But hopefully that will be our opportunity to try and make some progress and try and catch up to some of those midfield teams going into season 2. But as you can see on screen right now, currently taking part of the practice programs, and overall a decent start to the weekend, hitting all of our targets. The qualifying performance test could have gone better, but ultimately I was kind of on the limit, and I don't think a purple score would have been possible. Even still, we scored a decent amount of points, and we're going to invest those at the end of this episode. A big investment going in this episode for the R&D points. And also in terms of power units as well, we're going to go back to a previous spec engine for certain components because they're a little bit fresher compared to what I was running. And this is going to be our strongest power unit available going into this last race. And for this one, we are here in qualifying now. Once again, just like the last, I think 3 or 4 races now, we've run 108% AI. So we're going to stick with that here this weekend and run with that difficulty level for this qualifying session and for the rest of the weekend as the night skies begin to appear here in Abu Dhabi. The sun sets and you've got that usual kind of unique twilight or daytime to twilight transition from in qualifying, also during the race as well. So yeah, overall, let's jump into things here in qualifying. Let's see how we get on, and we're going to go for 2 runs in this Q1 session. And straight away I can tell you guys, my first run was actually my best run. My second one was looking good, but unfortunately I made a couple of mistakes. So yeah, we're going to run on board for this entire lap, and we're going to see how we get on as we get down to business here for one final time in season 1 in qualifying here at Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina Circus. So here we go then, just making our final checks, making sure everything's okay as we hit the track, and we're going to try and set a decent lap time here in qualifying to see if we can try and at least be our teammate. That's the target, and then anything else other than that will be a bonus. So as you can see, a final bit of time warp going on and preparing for the lap as we now open up the line and now get on the power as much as we can out of the exit on the final corner down towards turn 1, and straight away looking at the 100-meter board break just after that. Maybe just before the 50 if you can be bold on the brakes, and make sure you really focus on your exit and flat out through 2 and also turn 3. Keep it nice and tight through here and let the car then run wide right at the end of the exit. And now down the hill, braking just after the 100-meter board, attack the inside left curb there to really open up the right. And briefly on the powers, we then get back down to first gear for the hairpin. And this one all about traction and straight line speed on the cars. You get the power down and wait for the DRS to become available right about now. And luckily for us, we get a little bit of a slipstream from the Haas in front. Hopefully we'll get a bit more of that on the next straight as we now look for the 100-meter board as our reference into this kind of chicane on the middle of the back straight. A little bit of a left and then really open up the right and focus on your exit here. Use the curbing on the left to really make sure you maximise the exit as we open up the DRS a second time here and really get a nice toe from the Haas as we pull to the left-hand side. And now look for the 100-meter board on the right-hand side once again as your reference down to third and possibly second if you need to get the rotation, and then over the little right-left chicane, and then this tricky left-hander here, off camber slightly, quite on the steer. You've got to be careful to not run too wide there because that curve on the exit is absolutely horrific and you can wheel spin like crazy. And now flat out through the double rights into this kind of more tighter 90-degree right-hander, which now goes into the hotel section, feeding into 2 double lefts. And it's all about really using the curves. So somehow my lap didn't get invalidated there for cutting that corner, which was somehow miraculous. And now into the penultimate corner, throwing the car in, fantastic line through there. One more corner to go. Really make sure you try and open up the entry and focus on your exit as we run up to the line. And we do go P18 and crucially faster than Robert Kubica there with a 34.9. And for my second one, I actually put a little bit more front wing on, and this lap would have been fantastic. You can see at the moment we are currently up on the delta here, and you can still see now, even after the back straight where we've increased the front wing, we still haven't lost time. But then I ran deep into the hairpin, unfortunately, or into the chicane, should I say, and I threw away my 1/10 of a second advantage. And you can see here we're trying to claw it back. We actually lost about 2.5 tenths as we invalidate our lap time, and I went from being 1/10 up to 2.5 tenths down. And even then I still pulled it all the way back to being 3 tenths under. So I reckon there was about a 0.6 of a second improvement overall. I think that lap was fantastic. And had we not locked up, it would have been even more lap time. So I reckon we could have actually beaten Giovinazzi. We could have been very, very close with him. But Giovinazzi's signs would have been the region where our lap would have been. I don't think we could have got out of Q1. That was a bit too much to ask. But our lap was good enough to get between Gio and Sainz, I reckon, on a perfect day, if everything had gone well. But unfortunately, the lap was, had a lot of potential, but we kind of ruined it at the crucial moment. So, overall, it is what it is. But the decent thing is we still out-qualified Kubica in the final race of Season 1. But we now go again in the race, and we're going to try one last time to try and score some points in this Williams car. And let's see if we can try and end the season somehow on a high. So let's jump into it. It's time for round 21 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Welcome to the Yas Island circuit for the finale of another thrilling Formula One season. It's been a breathtaking year, and we end it at a track that's been the scene of many glories and heartbreaks over its short history. It's time to end the season in style. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have 21 corners here at Yas Island circuit with 10 to the right and 11 to the left. It's a total lap distance of 3.4 miles. 2 long straights open up some passing opportunities into the chicanes, and we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles per hour. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Now I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off with the title already in the bag.
It really is well-deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well-managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Norris, Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Stroll and Alexander Albon, Kvyat, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and Magnussen. Perez, they've taken a grid penalty. Giovinazzi, Martinez and Robert Kubica, Ricciardo and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay guys, here we are then on the grid for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the last race of Season 1, and we start from 17th place on the grid once again. Due to penalties, we get promoted a few positions on the grid, and in terms of the strategy, it's going to be quite interesting. The team originally recommended a medium, soft. I've switched that to a medium, soft, because I know I can do that around here, and the 2-stop is probably the best way to go. The 1-stop is not very good. Tyre wear is quite weird around this track, so you don't really want to stay on tyres too long because they drop off quite badly, even though they're on like 35% and 40% wear, they feel worse than what they are. So I'm going to try this 2-stop, try and be aggressive and see if it pays off. Dare I say I could stretch it to a 1 maybe. We'll see, but for now we're just going to pretty much judge on a lap by lap basis on the medium tyre and see where we are. And in terms of fuel, we're going to run 2 laps more fuel, so quite heavy on fuel, and we're going to run quite a lot of rich mix, be aggressive here today, and use the engine up because it's the last one of the season, so we can definitely push the limits and the capacity of the power unit. So yeah guys, that is it for the introduction, and we're now going to move into the race here, and we're going to see how we get on for the finale of Season 1 for round 21 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's build up the revs and get ready for the 5 red lights here at Abu Dhabi for one last time. And it's lights out and away we go. Pretty decent start in the mediums as we go down towards turn 1. I'm kind of boxed in on the outside here as Kubica tries to go down the inside, side with my teammate. We're going to just get in front, hopefully, around the outside. Kubica now on the outside through here. He's hanging in there on those soft tyres, to be fair. We're going to get boxed in majorly now as there's lots of 2 wide actions here. Having a look around the outside of Perez, but no way through. Kubica still trying to go around the outside of me as we go in towards the hairpin. We're going to be on the outside here, but we get the better exit. It's going to be a good old-fashioned drag race versus our teammate. And Kubica actually wins, surprisingly, so he's running a little bit less error than me, maybe. We're going to get in the slipstream, though, and try and repass Robert. Around the outside, again, we're going to return the favour as we go into the chicane. Carrying a lot of speed around the outside. And we get in front and we make the move. There we go. And now we're right on the back of Giovinazzi here. Let's see if we can try and get past the Alphas. We've got 2 wide in front. It could be 3 wide potentially. Down the inside of Giovinazzi here, late on the brakes. We're going to make the move. There we go, as Perez and the Haas of Magnussen go side by side. We're going to just sit back from this for now and not commit too much as we jump up to P16 now. Making progress and gaining places. Let's see if we can maybe hold on to the race pace. Sector 3 is where I struggle the most, at least compared to the AI when you skip and simulate time. So we'll see how that progresses in the race, but I feel confident around here. I do like this track and I think I can do well. Just got to manage everything and be strong in the right areas. I think we are down a bit on straight line speed, so I might adjust that in the pit lane. But other than that, pretty decent opening lap. I'm going to adjust the wing already for the pit lane for our first stop, because we're going to be running soft tyres after this, so we can get away with a little bit less downforce. But let's try and keep up with the cars in front here and not drop off if possible. Seems like we've got a slow car in front of us here. As always, every race is always a car that's got some kind of problem. I think it's a Red Bull though this time. And we're gaining quite a lot as we get a bit out of shape there, mid-corner. Let's try and close the gap. There's another midfield pack just up the road as well, featuring a couple of McLarens and a Haas and a Renault, I think. So at the minute, that's good. I mean, we need these kind of midfield packs to continue as we pick up our first corner cut of the race there. Picking up a bit too much curb on the inside. Need to get within the second though, because DRS will be enabled on this next lap, so it's important to make progress here and get back within the guys in front.
Okay, entering lap 3 now. DRS has been enabled.
I'm going to keep it in British mix through all of sector 1 to see if I can close the gap a bit. Okay, we managed to get within a second without a doubt. So that's good, that's going to help us out a little bit. There we go, DRS, and also Kubica as well. He's behind me, so he can be my kind of rear gunner at the moment, which is also good news. Okay, we've caught right back up to these guys now, and also it seems like wherever that train is in front, that Haas or Renault, whoever's leading the train, is really struggling, because we're all bunching up here as one big massive collective in the midfield as we set another personal best. So this is good news for us on our strategy with the mediums, because the soft tyre is so much better as a race tyre, especially in the latter part of the race when the sun goes down. Track temperatures drop a little bit and you can get a lot more bang for your buck with a soft tyre. You can make it last a lot longer, so it's important for strategy that we do this and stay as close as we can to the midfield as long as we can. We don't have a straight line speed unfortunately, so no overtakes will be occurring I don't think, but we could just stay within range and stay competitive, and that'd be good enough. We can only overtake if someone goes for a bit of a risky move and, you know, costs themselves a lot of time. But other than that, I can't see much happening. The good news is the Toro Rossos are up the road as well, and they're cars that we've overtaken in the past, and we have been quicker than in the past, so we can maybe get those guys. At the moment, this kind of pace suits me. It would give me a good chance of scoring points, and with some better front wing and straight line speed, we can definitely get a better exit there and get Perez, I think. You see, this is something where next season, with an improved car and a faster package, I would punish all of these guys for driving so slowly and trying to make some stupid overtakes and going too wide all the time. I'd be getting past these guys one by one, but we just don't have the pace with this car at the moment, and I can't get the straight line speed or the traction or the speed for the corners to stay close. This Toro Rosso is definitely in trouble, and he is running the mediums to be fair, so it's important for us on strategy to get ahead of Kvyat here as he's going side by side with Perez. I'm going to try and set up a switchback of sorts, and we're going to just sneak in there. Kvyat on the outside, we're going to just squeeze through. Very, very nice tactical move there as we get past the Russian. And we're up to P15 now, so very nice move. That's how we're going to make the overtakes here today. We've got to be very, very clever in the way we do our business. But let's keep up with Perez here. Let's try and stay within his DRS if possible. Okay, I can just see now the other Toro Rosso is also on medium tyres of Alexander Albon. He's in front of these guys. He's currently in the points, I believe. Although not for much longer as cars are starting to get past, but we need to get past Albon as well because he seems to be on the medium tyre, so let's try and get after him. Look at all this though, look at the time everybody's losing, battling away. That McLaren I can see is on mediums as well. Good exit from us. We're going to turn the engine up here. I'm going to commit to this. That was a very good exit. That McLaren's got no slipstream whatsoever, and we're all going to try and get past it. I'm going to try and send one down the inside.
We're at +1 lap of extra fuel target, +1.
There's some contact there with Perez. We're going to make the move though. Scrappy move. Perez turned in on me there, completely even on the inside, but we make the move and we get past the McLaren as well. Already starting to notice the difference as the soft tyres start to fade in this current climate with the temperatures. And the medium tyre starting to show its prowess as we cut that corner again there. That's 2 in 6 laps now. I can't do that anymore. We were on 2 warnings in Brazil in the last race. So I've got to try and keep my nose clean after the rest of the race, unfortunately. So I have to just let off a little bit on the pace. But let's try and catch up with Magnussen here and get within DRS. Okay, we've got DRS on Magnussen, but here comes Perez. That racing point is extremely fast on the straight. Not able to stay in front for now, but he may re-challenge. I've got to try and get a good exit here. And that's not too bad. But Perez also gets a good exit himself. I think we should be okay here. This is a slightly shorter straight. So we can stay in front of the Mexican in the racing point.
Okay, some information on Magnussen. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Oh, here we go then. Time to strike. Magnussen right in front of us. That's going to be a free overtake on the Haas driver here. He goes defensive into the final corner. He knows he's in trouble. Let's try and get past him. Here we go, we're gaining. We're going to go to the outside. On the mediums, a bit wide, but we are going to take it just about. Magnussen's going to keep his car on the inside, but we're going to go flat out around the outside and hold on to that. Picking up some oversteer though, that's a big snap. I've lost the back end there. That's not going to help. Wow, that was a moment. Huge moment. Losing the back end there. And that's giving Perez the way back through. Let's try and execute the overtake though. We've got another chance with this double straight. Magnussen absolutely defenseless. We're going to gain the double slipstream. And we can re-challenge Perez here. I'm going to go to the outside. Long way round on the brakes. Perez on the outside. He just stays in front as we just clip his rear tyre there. But Perez doesn't have DRS. We're going to get on the inside line. And there we go. This time we make the move. Job done. And we're up into P12. Signs up the road. He still can't get past that Toro Rosso on medium tyres. So let's get after them. All of a sudden, I'm liking our chances of scoring points here today. Okay, cars in the pit lane, including Carlos Sainz, who's just pit in. Actually, Sainz is the only one in.
Robert in the pits. Robert in the pits.
Kubica pits in. We've got Gasly and I believe a Ferrari here in front of us. Probably Sebastian Vettel. They've already gained a pit stop gap to us, which is quite surprising. Looks like we're going to have to defend from Perez here, who's queuing up to make a move behind us in the racing point. And even on worn tyres, we know that car's quicker, so I'm not surprised. Can we stay in front? A good exit from us. I've got no DRS or slipstream whatsoever, but we've had a good run. And I think Perez isn't running particularly high engine mode on the straight here, so we'll comfortably be able to stay in front. And it's actually Leclerc in front. He's been overtaken by Pierre Gasly there, so those two are duking it out. Listen, nobody else pits and Perez actually stays out.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Interestingly enough, so looks like the rest of the people on soft tyres are going to try and go for a one stop maybe. Interesting strategy. Okay, Perez is going for it this time. I could just tell straight away, and he's going to walk past. No point in even wasting ERS energy defending that. He was so much quicker. Let's try and use the DRS and just try and follow him if we can for the rest of the lap. Okay, we've got a few more cars in the pit lane. This will give us an indication as to what the strategy will be. And looks like they're going for a soft medium. Interesting strategy.
Some information on Giovinazzi. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Another one bites the dust and he's behind us. Would like for it to be in front of us, but still no complaints. Another guy struggling with his car this race. Might be a few more. It's a long race this one. As night time starts to fall here in the desert. Okay, so Albon pits.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
Interesting strategy there from the Toro Rosso. Maybe he's just going to go a lap earlier for the soft tyres, but we're pitting in this lap for our 2-stop. I could try and stretch it to a 1, but I just know we're not going to make it. I'm already struggling on my tyres as it is, and I couldn't do another 6 laps, you know, it's going to be quite tight. Oh, that's a big lock up. Struggling on my tyres now. I've even seen my tyre wear, but again, I bet they're not even that worn, but they just feel like absolute crap. Always happens around here. Either way, let's pit in. Going through the final corner. Looks like Perez is coming in as well. Norris goes on his way. I think he's already done his pit stop, hence why he was right on the back of me. Slow it down. There we go. That's a good entry. Turn the engine down, turn the ERS deployment down. And we're going to drop a few places here as we pit in for the soft tyres. Looks like Perez might get held up a little bit there by me. Here we go.
Go, go, go. You'll be racing on the exit. Go, go now. They're speeding up again, so I expect they've fixed whatever the problem was.
1.8 stop. Also quite interestingly, Albon's on another set of medium tyres, so he's probably going for the original strategy that I was proposed, which is quite interesting. With that, not down to P18, quite a way down. We've got lots of overtaking to do, but this would be race critical. If we want to score points, we've got to make all the overtakes now, so it's going to be an exciting part of the race, I think. So let's strap ourselves in and get ready for some overtakes. Hopefully the soft tyre holds on and has pace. The struggling Antonio Giovinazzi is going to help us out here. You can see the train forming up the road as we're now in the back of our teammate Robert Kubica. As Gio actually pits in, so he's going to now release everybody. So we're up to P17 now, about to be P16 here as we queue up to pass our own teammate. Hopefully pass the McLaren as well on the back straight. We can get a 2 for 1 hopefully. I've got the momentum on Kubica here, but I'm not going to pass him just yet. It'd be a pointless overtake because we've wasted a lot of time. Just going to wait until the straight and get the overspeed. There we go. Turn the engine up a little bit. DRS. We're gaining on Kubica here. Looks like we're gaining on that McLaren as well. We're going to go on the outside. Kubica on the inside. He gets kind of held up there by Grosjean going so slow. And now we're going to get the traction down and we're going to try and get past the McLaren, make it a 2 for 1. With some nice DRS and straight line speed, we're going to breeze past the McLaren. Just absolutely walk past him. Up to P15. And we've got 4 more cars up the road here. So 4 more places to make up. Personal best 38.3. We've already pulled out a second gap to Grosjean. Good pace. Let's keep this going. Important to stay consistent over the whole stint. Another personal best, good pace. As we're now in the back of Kvyat here, who's just been overtaken by Ricciardo, and Albon's just up the road, so hopefully all 3 of these we can pick them up in a quick succession. Seems like Kvyat might actually re-overtake Ricciardo here. He's got good pace. And he's got DRS as well, which doesn't help me as we're gaining on the Toro Rosso here, but I'm going to get slightly boxed in here as Kvyat's got to make a decision. I'm going to go on the switchback here as Kvyat goes for a move on Ricciardo. We're going to go for an absolutely massive switchback. This didn't quite work out, but we are going to get the momentum here. Ricciardo's got DRS, so we're going to go behind him. And there we go, we're going to power past the pair of them. Job done. Very nice move, another double overtake, up to 13th place now. Albon up next. Okay, we've got Carlos Sainz in the pit lane for the McLaren team. Up to P12, I'm struggling to catch Albon a little bit now.
Robert is in the pits, Robert in the pits.
As Kubica comes in, I'm struggling to catch Albon. Soft tyres are starting to lose performance a bit. Let's keep insisting though, keep pushing and not give up. Right then, we're going to try one more roll of the dice. I'm going to undercut Albon here. I'm going to pit in this lap. Unless he does. If he does, then I'll do the opposite. But my tire's kind of going anyway, so let's see what Albon does. Okay, he stays out, so we're going to pit in. Undercut time. Has to be a fantastic out lap. A little bit of a brush with the wall there into the pit lane. Just about getting it slowed down. Free pit lane, all to ourselves, which is fantastic. Hopefully Albon might get held up, maybe. You never know. Now we need a good stop from the boys. A sub 1.8 would be ideal in this scenario. Okay, I'll take an 8.5 or 1.85, that's fine.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Right then, let's see up to speed straight away. Waste no time, clean air. We're going to rejoin in front of Ricciardo, who pit on the last lap. Right then, we need a big out lap here. Right then, here we go. Albon's in the pit lane. Unless that's Kvyat, no, it's Kvyat, never mind. Albon stays up for 1 more, so we're definitely going to get a huge undercut on him because he's staying out 2 more laps than I did. So up to 14th place now. All by ourselves. Okay, so Albon's in the pit lane. I think we've definitely undercut him. If not, it's going to be very, very close. Personal best across the line, 37.4. There we go, Albon's leaving the pit lane now. And I think we've done it. Yes, we have. We're out in front. Successful undercut. Well then, P13. I think this is the highest we can finish now. So unless we catch somebody up, this is going to be our finishing position here today. Okay, so we're catching Sainz here, but Albon has really caught up to me now, so we might have to defend from the Toro Rosso driver here, unfortunately, just as we got so close to catching the McLaren. I think Albon's going to have the run here and some straight line speed on us. Here comes.
3 laps of fuel remaining.
Here he comes, Toro Rosso. We have to defend the inside. I've got very little fuel on the RS to deploy it, so we're going to run quite deep on purpose to stop him from going around the outside there. Good exit from us, and that's going to take the pressure off for now, but we have lost some ground to Sainz, unfortunately. It'd be nice to get within a second of the McLaren and try and pick up the RS to help us out. We've got to defend from Albon again here. Seems like I'm not catching the Sainz. I've just lost a bit of pace. Tyres are starting to go a little bit, and the fact I put in 2 laps before Albon did, that's starting to hurt me a bit. Here comes Alex again. We're going to...
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Cover the inside. Running deep on the brakes again, but Albon this time goes clean around the outside. I'm going to get the switch back. Get a good exit, and we're going to get the RS on the Toro, so we're going to go to the left-hand side here. Good chance to save some fuel using the DRS. We're going to defend the inside. Very easy on the brakes there, not overdoing it. Tyres are starting to wear out now. And also I've got to be careful with those corner cuts and extensions because I'm still on 2 warnings. 1 more and it's a penalty, and that would put us way back. I'm going to turn the engine up here. I'm going to use up all of my fuel in the RS, but not to defend from Albon. I've gained a bit of ground on Sainz in the last lap or so I'm going to try and use everything I've got to get within DRS on the second DRS zone off the McLaren. And I might have just done enough. Let's find out. Hopefully if I can have a good run through here. We nick DRS. Yes, we do. We've done it. Got ourselves in DRS of the McLaren. Let's keep pushing. Let's turn the engine up here. Use up what we've got left to try and get close to Sainz. There we go. That'll do. Right then. Good timing on that. We've pushed hard at the right time. Now we've got to try and get past that McLaren. Right then. Let's try and overtake Carlos Sainz here. And nick a P12. Kvyat and Ricciardo are behind us. They've caught up. And they're also within a second. So it's important to try and get this move on Sainz. I'm going to try and preferably wait until the second straight, but I can't be too picky or choosy.
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
Hamilton wins as the fireworks go off. We are a little bit far back here, so I'm going to save my ERS and what I have left of it just to get close to Sainz. As we go into the chicane, nice and easy for the first one. Focus on the second one. There we go, get a good exit, and that's what I'm talking about right there. Up to overtake mode, here we go, regaining in the slipstream. We're going to go to the right hand side, Sainz defends. Late on the brakes. We go around the outside, there we go. Nice and easy now, let's not cut or extend as we get a big bit of oversteer there. I'm also lagging a little bit at the moment, but here we go. Into the final sector, and it's been a good season for us. All things considered, we've scored almost 50 points in a Williams, which is fantastic. And I'm excited for the future, I really am, and I can't wait to do some upgrades as we go through the final few corners now. We're going to have a nice, healthy end of season points bonus to add as well as we go through the final few corners. And that is it for season 1 of career mode, and we look forward to next season and season 2. But that is it. What a race. I enjoyed that.
That's it. What a season. Great work this year. Really great work. It's been hard at times, but we've come through.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Right, so here we have the final race results for the final time this season as Lewis Hamilton wins it for Mercedes, and he dominated. Look at his fastest lap of 34.9 and nobody got near that. He only won by 3.5 seconds, but still his fastest lap was absolutely convincing and demolished the field here, picking up the win and the fastest lap of the race for Mercedes. Bottas P2, Sebastian Vettel rounding off the podium as you saw there, and then we got Pierre Gasly P4 ahead of Verstappen, who finished in 5th, and then Sergio Perez best of the rest in the Racing Point, with Lance Stroll in 7th place. So those two guys having a strong end to the season in the Racing Point there, scoring some big points at the end. Charles Leclerc, I believe, had car trouble. He was also on a two-stop strategy, and he finished only in 8th place ahead of Lando Norris and Nico Hülkenberg, who scored the final point. Kimi Raikkonen in P11 missing out on the points, along with ourselves in P12, and then Carlos Sainz, Alexander Albon, Danny Kvyat, Daniel Ricciardo, Roman Grosjean, Robert Kubica, and Kevin Magnussen and Antonio Giovinazzi rounding out the top 20 here today. And overall, impressively, it was Kubica who didn't finish bottom, and Magnussen and Giovinazzi with those car issues finishing right at the bottom of the table there. But in terms of the standings for the final time this season, we finish up season 1 in 11th place. So unfortunately it wasn't top half of the table, which is quite annoying, and we just missed out 10 points behind Kimi in the end. So Kimi actually got there quite comfortably. Sebastian Vettel beats his teammate Charles Leclerc to 3rd place in the last race, and Hamilton 104 points clear of his teammate. That is absolutely dominant there from the multiple time world champion. In terms of constructors though, you can see that we finished the season in 9th place. The good news is we don't finish last. That is Toro Rosso, and we finished 6 points behind Renault and 10 points behind Alfa Romeo. So overall a positive first season, a very good first season, and overall I'm very, very happy with the work we've done here, and hopefully we can push on in season 2 and really take a massive step forward. But in order to do that, we need to jump into the upgrades, and we need to go into the laptop. So therefore, let's jump into it and let's see where we can improve this Williams car going into season 2.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race. You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? How do you feel the competition is for you this season? You left some bodywork out there on the track. Were you struggling for grip? Great. Well, that's everything.
Okay, so it's contract negotiation time, and I'm going to go for a new contract. Nothing really major here, just the same as always. 18th in qualifying, 15th in the race, first driver with hard team goals, and then all the perks on level 3. Let's see what the teams say to this offer.
All right, the terms have been agreed. All that's left is to sign the paperwork. You'll be on this new deal from the next race weekend.
Right, pretty successful and pretty simple. Now, we've got 4,000 points to burn here for R&D investment going into next season. And there's a couple of areas here that we could work with, but the key one's going to be the aero. The chassis I could work with, but ultimately there is a reg change in place for next season. So, I'm looking at the aero, and I've got a couple in mind here. So if I look at the pricing, I'm going to go for, first of all, this ultimate drag reduction upgrade. We're going to add to that by adding this major rear downforce one, and also this major front downforce one as well. So that's 3 massive upgrades, and we should leapfrog all the way to 5th place. Dare I say, maybe from 4th, and overtake Racing Point. And we've got a couple of minor ones which we can't quite afford. What about in the chassis? Yes, we can afford one here. So what direction do I want to go for? Tyre wear could be tempting. Power unit as well, possibly, just to stay on top of things. ERS or fuel consumption, both again are tempting, but I think I'm going to go chassis. I think it's going to be this way, and I am fancying either, I think, weight reduction, just because we need to get a little bit further on here, and there's obviously something more to the right hand side of this one, so we'll go for this one here and we'll get that on the car as well, just sort of bonus upgrade, which I didn't think we'd be able to afford, and hopefully that does arrive, doesn't foul come Australia. But guys, that is it for the upgrades. You can see in the bottom right, we should take a massive step towards Haas, Renault and McLaren, those kind of guys, and we should be firmly in the midfield. Hopefully the investment we made into the chassis to protect the upgrades that we had, as you can see on screen in grey, will hopefully pay dividends for us, and hopefully some teams miss out, especially Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari, and we'll work on the chassis straight away next season. But guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode, and the end of Season 1 is here. The next time I see you guys will be at the start of Season 2 in Australia. Hopefully, fingers crossed, as a midfield team, knock on wood. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a massive like and also subscribe if you are new for daily Formula 1 content and turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.